Mr. Mayor, Michael O'Brien. I'm an executive vice president with Winn Companies, the parent company over Winn Development. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for having us. I'm with our senior project director, Lauren Canepari, a very talented young woman who's stewarding this project for us here in Holyoke. I am a Chicopee, born and bred, and from that standpoint, I've run your Holyoke St. Patrick's Day road race the better part of 15 times. Never clocked better than a 12-minute mile, but I finished. And I have fond memories of downtown Holyoke with Bales and G-Fox and all the wonders of Holyoke. And we're very happy as a company to be here for all the strengths of Holyoke, the great foundation you have, and the vision that you have for the future. We see our Appleton Mill project fitting in very nicely with all you've done and all you continue to do to make Holyoke great. And to that end, we have a shovel-ready project. And as with all of our undertakings, we have to do it in partnership. Partnership based on the nature of the funding we secure to make wonderful projects like Appleton Mills happen. And then really it's about shared goals and shared desires. And I believe we've got a win-win here working with you. It's a transformative redevelopment. You've done so much in that area already. This will take an existing building owned by the city through the Redevelopment Authority and transform it into a wonderful senior community over 55 and will transform that city block with public works improvements, with new sidewalks, new connections between existing developments, as well as enhancing that parking lot across the street from our project, all as part of our undertaking, with tremendous support across the state administration for their great love and care for the city of Holyoke, as well as your state delegation and others that we've interacted with in your community. So I think it has broad-based support, and as I mentioned, shovel-ready. And for the details of the project, I'd like to turn it over to Lauren now to get into the specifics of what we're proposing.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Mike. So yeah, my name is Lauren Canepari, Winn Development. Appleton Mills, a project we're really excited about. The former Far Alpaca Mill Complex, which is comprised of 6 buildings along Appleton Street in downtown Holyoke. Our plan for the phase 1 of this project, which is what we're working on now, is to redevelop buildings 6, 5, and a portion of 4 into 88 units for tenants age 55 plus. There'll be 3 studio units, 72 1 beds, and 13 2 beds. They will be 16% of the units will be market rate, about 72% will be affordable at 60% or greater of AMI, and then we'll have 12 units that are at 30% or lower of area median income. So we're kind of, we're hoping to serve really a broad range of seniors, you know, from low income to market rate. And really, as Mike said, is a transformative project. Not only will we be redeveloping a portion of the mill and the canal walk associated, you know, along the canal there to match the rest of the canal walk in the area, but also a parking lot at 191 Appleton, the connections between the 2 properties, as Mike said, new sidewalks, new crossings, bump outs, a lot of safety measures and lighting. And then a brand new building at 5 Essex Street, which will have a bridge connecting it to the mill over a railroad. I do have some renderings here that can be, makes it maybe a little bit easier to see the project and how it's, how it works there. But, you know, we think with you know, these three pieces of the project all working together is really going to make something special for the entire area. You know, in addition, the building is going to be redeveloped to National Park Service standards, all historic. So the units will have, you know, high ceilings, exposed brick, large windows. I mean, they really are going to be beautiful units, and the tenant amenities are there too. Fitness center, you know, laundry, clubhouse, the canal walk that I mentioned. And, you know, as part of this, we really are shovel ready for the project to go. So we have planning board approval, Concom approval, Historic Commission has supported us, and of course this is all in partnership with the HRA, who have really supported this project from day one. We also have an agreement with the railroad. They've been very supportive also for an air rights lease to build a bridge across the railroad into the mill. And we have an agreement to purchase the 5 Essex Street parcel as well. So, it's a very exciting project. We've heard great things from DHCD. Our full application already went in. As I think you are, they're also very focused on a shovel-ready project, and they want, we expect that this project is going to be in construction by Q1 2022. We've heard great things from them, and as Mike said, great support all around. As part of our application to DHCD, one of their priorities is to see that the community wants to, supports the project, has a stake in the project. So, they would like to see some funding from the city, and which is why we've applied for this. Mm-hmm. As everybody knows, obviously these funds are because of COVID. We feel it's a good fit because the project assists people who have been greatly affected by COVID. Obviously the seniors who will live there, the people who work there, construction jobs, but also just the surrounding communities, bringing more money to small businesses, and just kind of revitalizing, a building that's in an area that's just kind of been vacant there. And the other thing that comes out of COVID is a high, high construction costs, high labor costs, and that's something we're going to have to contend with as the project goes forward. And that's really why we requested the $500,000 of ARPA funding for the project, to make sure that despite increases to construction costs, we are still doing to the standard that Winn is known for, really a high-end product, as we've done in other places in Western Mass, Mill 10 in Ludlow. We're about to start on Mill 8 in Ludlow as well. So we really have an investment in the area. We're doing a few projects in Springfield as well, and this is a really important project to us.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, if I could, over a $40 million investment in having that level of support at the state. When they're judging applications, they're weighting them based on the level of local support. And so we recognize $500,000 is a great deal of money, but we also know that we want to ensure that this is something that they fund this year in award, so that we can get to that closing and ultimately begin the project Q1. So we are humbled by the proposal we have before you, but recognize our goals are your goals. We want to see this project underway. We want to get the highest marks coming out of the state weighting process for the award, so that we know and can just check the box that we're ready to start this ASAP.
Okay, thank you. And that connection over the railroad, is that the fitness center and things, or is that a different?
Yeah, so in that brand new building that we'll be constructing, that will be just filled with tenant amenities. It'll have the leasing offices for the property, but it'll also have fitness center, lounge, workstations, conference rooms that the tenants can use, just different, a lot of tenant amenities, and then it'll be a pedestrian bridge over into basically the center of the mill. And the reason that that's important is, of course, that's why now we would like to we're going to go back to the planning board to change this to be a 55+ property. Originally, we were concerned about the seniors walking so far and how that was going to work. But now that we have this access directly into the middle of the mill, it really makes it work for seniors, which we're really excited about, and it also makes phase 2 of the project work better, because we'll have that access off of Essex Street instead of everyone coming in down off of Appleton. So now that we have all the approvals for that, everything is really in place for us to move forward.
So the Essex Street address is just connected to the building, but on Essex Street instead of Appleton, or am I reading this wrong?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep, it's just connected to the building there.
Okay.
For seniors, we know from our vast experience in all of our developments that it has to be easy access, as you could imagine. And from the parking lot on Appleton Street, we just felt it was too far a walk on a long linear building to have them access from Appleton and maybe get their room or their unit further down in the development would be too much to ask. So that's why we acquired 5 Essex and why we're proposing this addition to cross over the tracks to give them ease of access and a short walk to their units.
And how many parking spots in that area?
There's only going to be maybe 15-ish spots there,
Okay.
but that's not included. Those are all just bonus spots on top of what we already have the max
Which
the
is
amount
what's
for
that,
zoning.
on 191?
Exactly.
Okay.
So we have 91 spots at 191 Appleton, and we're required to have 88. So, what we're hoping will be here is, more handicap parking, which we think the project needs, and also, a drop-off zone for tenants, and also to move in and move out.
Okay. And how many handicap spots?
I think right now we have 9, but there might be additional here once we have this finalized.
And are you down to your last funding source? Or you've all got, how many commitments do you have right now, dollar-wise?
So dollar-wise, we have a large commitment of $3.2 million from Mass Historic Commission for the state tax credits. And then we have commitment, for the bond cap for the deal to go from Mass Housing. They're ready to fund our permanent loan and fund our construction. We have a construction loan, and we also have commitment for all of the equity from Bank of America to buy all of the tax credits generated by the deal. So essentially we have all of our funding committed except for the state funding that we just applied for, DHCD.
And how much was that?
That was for the amount of funding was, sorry. So that's, it's about $24 million from various sources.
Okay.
All through the state. But as Mike was saying, we have, first of all, in that funding round, we're the only project from Western Mass, and we know it's important to them for them to spread funding throughout the state. And we have heard really great things that, they want this project to go this year. So
Okay.
we're confident.
You've got some champions for Holyoke out at the State House, no question. And we are bullish. We think that with your show of support, that we're confident that this fall will bring in that state funding and put a bow on the fact that we're going to be able to start first quarter on construction.
Okay. So they're expected to make their decision in October?
They're expected to make their decision within the next month.
Okay.
Yeah, so we will hear shortly. But yeah, we have, federal historic credits. We have full approval for that. We have full credit approval from the bank to invest. So we're really, we're there, we're ready to go.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yep.
if there were to be any research on wind companies, you'd find that we pride ourselves on being neighbors. And once we're here in your great community, we're going to be active in your business community. We're going to be supporting local causes that are important to your community. And we see that as just being what's important, which is a good corporate citizen and part of your community. Time and time and again, any reference you check, you'd find that it's consistent. We care that much.
Okay. Thank you very much. As you can see, you're wrapping up.
Wrapping up. Okay.
So I just want to thank you for both considering Holyoke for your investment, working with us and working with the state and working with Redevelopment Authority in terms of putting that together. As you know, we have $99 million worth of requests from this ARPA money, so we are reviewing it and trying to make sure we can get the maximum bang for the buck, if you will, both immediate and long term. So my hope is that we'll be making some decisions in the next few weeks or by early September. My real goal was in the next few weeks, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. So just be aware that we're listening, and I appreciate you coming in so people can know. And I'm just trying to keep the public informed as to what we've got. And I thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to compliment your city team as well, both within the redevelopment authority as well as the city staff, city boards and commissions. It's a great place to do business.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.